What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, joined by my co-host, Alex Wilson. Fireside Giants, powered by BetUS. Make sure to check that out in the pinned comment. But today, we want to go ahead and dive into a couple of injury updates once again. Alex, I think this has been like 3 episodes in a row that we've done an injury update. So, Giants football is back. This is pretty much what we've grown accustomed to over the past few years. Today, though, unfortunately, not a positive update. We had a positive update recently with John Michael Schmitz returning to the practice field. Malik Nabers seemingly avoiding a big injury scare. Today, guys, I wish that I had a positive update for you. I don't. Tracy Jr. was carted off at practice today, and it does seem like a very serious injury. A 5th-round rookie running back out of Purdue looked really good in that first preseason game. He's been flashing his potential all summer, but unfortunately, he did suffer a lower body injury. It seems to be an injury to his right leg or ankle. He is at the hospital right now as we're recording this, a special surgery hospital. So really, it just doesn't look good. A huge blow to this Giants team, and again, to a really exciting young player. So disappointing news here. We're going to go ahead and kind of react to it, unpack what it means for this team, what it means for their backfield. Will they have to sign somebody? Who could they sign? And really just all of our reactions to that, and also another update on Malik Nabers as he recovers from his injury. But before we dive into all that, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this episode. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Ring the bell so don't miss an episode, and comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to leave us a 5-star review, and go ahead and follow us on all of our social media channels at Fireside Giants. Without further ado, Alex, how are you doing today, my friend? And what is your reaction to this terrible Tracy Jr. injury news?
I mean, this one hurts, guys. This one hurts. I tweeted yesterday, I see this guy becoming a key component, maybe splitting reps at some point during next season. This one sucks. Tracy's a good young player, a good young rookie, and he showed lots of potential, flashes of upside, and right now they're labeling it an ankle injury. We have no idea what that means. It could be anything as far as Achilles to a broken ankle to anything. But going to special surgery, as you said, that hospital does indicate it's a little bit more serious. It could, and look, they heard him yelp out, his leg buckled. I mean, if you remember like Rodgers or even Kirk Cousins, that those Achilles, like their legs just kind of go bing, and then they just can't walk. It does give me Achilles vibes. They would know immediately if it was a torn Achilles. They call it an ankle injury all the time. The only thing I will say is that Achilles injuries are a lot easier to come back from than ACL injuries. So at the very least, it's not an ACL injury. The Achilles injury, it sucks. It might be what it is. We don't know. We're hoping for the best. We're hoping it's just a break. A break can be problematic, but at least bone heals to 100%. Ligaments don't necessarily ever recover to full health, but a lot of players have these injuries these days, return and are fine, seemingly. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's, somebody doesn't end his season prematurely, but he's a young guy. Hopefully he can rebound quickly. He can heal up, and, it's difficult. It sucks. You never want to see a player with this rookie go down in this fashion. Nabers obviously with a minor ankle injury. He should be back and ready to go for week 1. But now it turns to Eric Gray and Devin Singletary. That's the primary 2 backs. We do think that the Giants will go out and get a veteran. Some guys that are available include Damian Harris, Leonard Fournette, someone that you like. There are some veteran backs here that could be the RB3, but it's going to be the Singletary and Gray show. I mean, hopefully Tracy can come back at some opportunities at some point this season, just get some experience under his belt, and come back in his sophomore year a much healthier player at this rate. But it sucks, man. He's fielding kickoffs. He muffed one, and then went to go pick it up, and his leg, it's non-contact. You hate the non-contacts. It always makes you think of the worst possible scenario. Usually is, unfortunately. But, this one freaking hurts, man. I really thought Tracy was going to be a key piece for us. He was going to be a key piece for us. Not think, but was. Now you have to find a way to supplement that, and this team is really young, a lot of inexperience. Someone has to step up. It looks like Eric Gray, who you're a big proponent of, will get the next opportunity. So, what do you foresee for this running back room going forward?
Yeah, I foresee them probably adding somebody through free agency, but really banking on the talent that they currently have on the roster to pick up the slack here with Tracy going down. And just to clarify a few notes on this Tracy Jr. injury for you guys and give you some further context, the Giants tweeted that he sustained an ankle injury and will be undergoing further imaging at HSS for a more comprehensive evaluation. So, just to clarify, we don't know exactly right now what the injury is. A lot of speculation from people saying maybe he broke his leg, maybe he tore his Achilles. We don't know just yet. And of course, once we find that out in our next episode, we will, of course, give you guys the update on that. And also, he suffered the injury doing a kickoff drill. Figure that's important context for you all to know. He was fielding a kickoff, something that the Giants have been having him compete for. And we've discussed many times on this show, Alex, how we thought that he could be a dynamic piece of the new kickoff format. His ability to break tackles, his contact balance, and his vision, all of those traits and factors really could have been lethal for the Giants in their return game on this new kickoff format. Unfortunately, he suffers the injury while practicing, fielding a kick. You just hate to see it. But shifting over from the kickoff and into the backfield, like you said, Alex, we got to expect that we see a lot more Devin Singletary than we even first imagined. Of course, Devin Singletary, running back one. Giants signed him in free agency. We knew that he was going to be the starter and take the bulk of the carries, but we also thought that Tyrone Tracy could take a little bit of pressure off his shoulders and take some of those carries as well. Probably not the case now going forward. I don't know if we'll see Tyrone Tracy during his rookie season. If we do, it's going to be at the end of it if he's able to make a quick recovery, but right now it doesn't look good. So I think we see a lot of Singletary. I think Eric Gray, if his roster spot was in question before that preseason game, it probably wasn't in question after the preseason game, and it's absolutely not in question now. Eric Gray is going to be the Giants' second string running back. Now it's up to Dante Miller to prove that he can sustain the role as RB3. And the problem here is Dante Miller is not 100% healthy either. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. So not only do the Giants lose Tyrone Tracy, Dante Miller's hobbled up a little bit, and it's the running back position. You're always going to deal with injuries at that spot. So I do think the Giants need to add somebody. Alex, of the names that I know you were looking at and doing a little bit of research on before we started recording, who really stands out to you? Because it's going to be Singletary, then it's going to be Gray. Dante Miller probably makes this roster now because of this injury, but you have to assume that they add somebody else. I know that there was someone that they signed recently, Jalen Saunders, or somebody who not really a big name and probably just a camp body.
Yeah, Jacob Sailors, I think they cut him.
There you go. Yeah, they cut him. They might bring him back. There's somebody else that they signed recently as well. I can't remember his name. And to be honest, guys, again, probably just a camp body, not somebody who's going to make the roster. But, Alex, I know you were looking at some free agents, some guys who might be notable and worthy additions to the team that could make the roster. Who really stood out to you when you were doing that research?
Man, I mean, Kareem Hunt's still out there. You know, he obviously a lot of experience. Latavius Murray's 34. I don't want to go in that direction. Marlon Mack. Benjamin. Damian Harris is 27, has had some success in the past. I don't know about anything about his personal life, but he's had some success in the past. I do believe he was with the Patriots and Buffalo, actually. So they could call up Buffalo and say, hey, how's Damian Harris? Like, what has he done for you guys? Hit up Joe Shane's old buddies. So, there are guys out there, but to be honest, I think the Giants probably just wait until after waiver cuts. They just keep with the guys they have right now, wait until after roster cuts in a couple days, and maybe someone shakes loose. Maybe some a decent player shakes loose. They have a deeper team, and there's going to be some experienced veteran guys. You don't need to be too proactive. You just need to fill preseason snaps, really. So maybe they bring in someone just to fill the snaps so the other guys don't get hurt, and they don't have to lean on the other guys with bad offensive line playing with fourth quarter preseason games. You just don't want your main guys out there. So could be a reason to bring in somebody for the time being, but I wouldn't think it's going to be that long term. This is Giants football, my friends. Giants football is back in flux. How do you know? Because we're dropping like flies, and this feels like a yearly occurrence. I'm sure every team has some sort of experience like this, but it's tough, man.
Yes, every team does have an experience like this, so I want to interject because there was just breaking news right now that actually does relate to the New York Giants. It's not an injury to a Giants player. J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings quarterback, is undergoing knee surgery. That's significant because the Giants will be facing the Minnesota Vikings in Week 1, obviously, and we know that there's been speculation. Will the Giants face Sam Darnold, or will they face J.J. McCarthy? This pretty much all but locks in the fact that the Giants will be facing Sam Darnold-led Minnesota Vikings in Week 1. Really impressive first showing in preseason for McCarthy. He underwent an MRI. He's going to be having some surgery, and we'll see how long he's out. We don't know that just yet, but that just broke while we were recording this. And again, domino effect on the Giants Week 1 matchup.
Dude, literally, this guy goes, I have a little soreness in my knee, and then has surgery the next day once. That's crazy. Feel for him. Like, rookie, it's always nice to see young players go down like this. J.J. McCarthy had a really good preseason game. It's going to be the Sam Darnold show, man, against the Giants in week 1. I'm watching that receiver series right now, and Justin Jefferson is so freaking good. Oh, my God. Watching, by the way, Antonio Pierce, what he did for that Raiders team, by the way, unbelievable after Devontae Adams literally about to force his way out via trade and they fired Josh McDaniel. It's crazy. That's such a good show if you guys haven't seen it just yet on Netflix. But yeah, this is a really interesting one. JJ McCarthy getting I don't know what the actual surgery was. It doesn't look like it was an ACL thing, maybe a knee scope to clean something up. I don't think it was a teared ligament or anything, but it sounds like they're going to determine the severity of how long he'll be out. Doesn't sound like a tear, but maybe just cleaning something up. I don't know.
Hasn't been clarified just yet, but literally just while we were talking about injuries to teams around the league,
Right.
that news broke,
Yeah,
and I thought that was
happens.
significant to note for week 1 for the New York Giants. The other running back that the Giants did sign recently that I couldn't remember the name of, Lorenzo Lingard. He was formerly with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 6 foot, 202 pounds, played in 52 collegiate games across 6 seasons with Miami, Florida, and Akron. This really isn't somebody to write home about. Like I said, probably a camp body, but that is someone else currently on the Giants 90-man roster that you could keep an eye on in these next preseason games with Tyrone Tracy going down. Alex, you did mention someone that earlier in this episode that I wanted to discuss just a little bit. It's Leonard Fournette. Now, if you guys didn't see, sometime over the summer, maybe 2 months ago, I want to say it was, Adam Schefter went ahead and tweeted on behalf of Leonard Fournette's agency, basically, that Fournette is motivated to continue his NFL career and intends to sign with a team before the season. Leonard's in the best shape of his career, and we expect him to have a new home soon, and that's what his agent said. So I want to make this point because I'm not saying that Leonard Fournette solves the Giants' problems or that he would, he's not the player that he used to be. We all know that. But in terms of the Giants maybe looking for a third, fourth string running back, I do want to pinpoint Fournette as an option because if you guys remember early in this offseason, the Giants were very interested in signing A.J. Dillon from the Green Bay Packers. Ultimately, it didn't happen, though they did negotiate with him. He went ahead and re-signed with the Packers instead, but it highlighted to me the fact that the Giants really wanted to add a short yardage power back. They were unable to do so far. Now they lost Tyrone Tracy Jr. I wonder if Fournette, or at least a player in a similar playing style, short yardage power situation running back, maybe that's what they look to target after missing out on A.J. Dillon a few months ago. So wanted to pinpoint Fournette since you mentioned him, Alex, and also just highlight the fact that maybe the Giants go after a power back here because that's something that they seemingly wanted to add earlier in the offseason but never got around to doing so.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're going to add somebody, at least just to make sure that they can survive the preseason. But in any case, better news being, Nabers should be healthy, ready to go. They did lose Jake Kubas and John Runyon yesterday to shoulder injuries. So, I mean, God, it just doesn't end. Starting guys all across the board, going down left and Cordell Flott, and it's just brutal, man. I don't know. I'm not inspired right now by this team in a lot of ways. The offensive line is still very much in flux. We saw a lot better from them in the preseason game, but again, it was backups. I just don't trust this team to stay healthy, first and foremost. It is very concerning to me. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be optimistic, and I still am in a lot of ways, and a lot of young talent on this team. Kayvon's still 23. Deontay Banks is only 23. And, of course, Nabers is 21. So much young talent. They're sneaky. I want to see what they can do this year, but they just got to stay healthy. For once, man. Just for once can this Giants team stay healthy. Or at least not go, have season-ending injuries. They can miss a game every now and then. It happens to the best of them, but it just sucks. It really does. It really does suck,
Yeah, it does, and I obviously want to go ahead and react to the Malik Nabers news because that's actually positive news for the Giants compared to the really disappointing and brutal news that we got for Tyrone Tracy Jr. But before we do so, want to take a quick pause on our video to talk about today's sponsor, BetUS Sportsbook. If you're into sports betting, BetUS offers the fastest payouts in the industry, and their deposit and withdrawal process super easy and fast. They're giving a massive 125% sign-up bonus to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits, live wagering on all major games, the best betting variety, and hey, they even offer 10% back on your net losses twice a year. Plus, you'll get 24/7 personalized service 365 days a year. And with BetUS, you can have your very own personal account manager. BetUS has the Giants at plus 400 to make the playoffs, at minus 600 to miss out on the playoffs. This is one of many great value bets that they are offering. Ready to start? Check out our special BetUS link in the description below to go ahead and get started. But talking about Malik Nabers, Alex, He spoke to the media today after practice, said 100% he'll be ready by week 1. This is not a significant injury. Obviously, there was a little bit of a scare a couple days ago. Suffers an ankle injury / foot injury. We get really nervous. We're like, please don't linger. Please don't be anything serious. It seems like he had a very mild ankle sprain, probably just got stepped on or twisted it, rolled it over, whatever. He's going to be fine for week 1. Major sigh of relief for the New York Giants.
Major sigh of relief. I mean, this was a situation where, you can't afford to lose him. I keep writing about this, and I'm like, the Giants losing Saquon Barkley was a kind of had to happen so they could finally go towards a pass-heavy offense, right? Nabers is going to help usher this team into the modern age of what offenses are doing. It's always a luxury to have a great running back, and I think they have some solid ones in Singletary and Gray, and hopefully Tracy returns at some point this season. But Nabers and Wandale and Slayton and Hyatt, these guys are talented. Theo Johnson's the name I'm going to throw in there to the mix as well. I think he's got a lot of upside. So, this offense is going to change. They're going to be explosive. They're going to go throw the ball downfield. If the offensive line can even give Daniel Jones an extra second, the guy's got to be aggressive, man. Leave it all on the football field. Take the shots. Run the risks. You're going to have to double guys like Nabers, which then takes other guys out of coverage responsibilities. You're going to have your free safety's eyes locked in on Nabers, trying to make sure he doesn't get by you on the boundary, because once he does, he's gone. Like, you just lead him the football, and he'll make those catches, man. He went against the Detroit Lions in the joint practice, and he was 17 for 18. Like, ridiculous. 17 for 18. He was destroying them, eating them alive. So, just let him cook, man. Let him cook. Give him chances to win the reps. Throw the ball up. He can win the contested catches. He can win with his speed. He can win with his route running, win with his agility. After the catch, he's equally as dangerous. This is the year where you develop and give Nabers the experience to set yourself up for the future, knowing you have your WR1, you have some nice depth. Of course, we don't know the future of Slayton, but I do think that at the end of the day, he probably will be off this team in 2025. But with that being said, maybe the Giants go out in the second or third round and find themselves a decent receiver to add to the mix next year. So many opportunities, so many possibilities. But there's this offense is certainly taking a big change. They're transitioning to a whole different style, leaning on Saquon Barkley. Limited us significantly in the past. No longer are we leaning on him. It is Nabers' show. This is going to be a much different offense, especially with Brian Daboll calling plays.
Yeah, I think Daboll calling plays might be the biggest game changer for this Giants offense, not named Malik Nabers. It's going to be those two factors that really change this team this upcoming season. But obviously, like I said, huge sigh of relief. The fact that Nabers will be ready for week 1, speedy recovery. He said that's the goal, at least to be 100%. He feels like he's going to reach that. I think it's very important when you're looking at the team, the important role that he's going to play, not only just being a dominant, probably 1,000-yard receiver as a rookie, but also the way that he opens things up for other players. I mean, when teams are double teaming your really talented rookie wideout Nabers, you're leaving single coverage for a guy like Jalen Hyatt, who's looked really good all summer, or Wandale Robinson in the slot, gets easier matchups as teams shift over and try and cover Malik Nabers. So he's going to be very important for us. Very happy that he's going to be ready to play in week 1, and I'm hoping that the Giants just stay very careful with Malik Nabers as he recovers from this injury over the next 3 weeks leading into the regular season. Obviously, 2 more preseason games to go. Maybe he plays in them. Maybe he doesn't. Probably not. I would assume that the Giants are going to go ahead and try and keep him as healthy as humanly possible for the start of the regular season. Alex, one last player that I do kind of want to touch on before we wrap this thing up here. It's Evan Neal. So we know that he returned from injury, and I don't know if we really need to get into a deep conversation about this, but I figured this is an important update for some Giants fans. Actually, shout out to one of our fans who messaged me on Twitter today, Sam Fountain, longtime viewer of the channel. He wanted some clarification on this. Evan Neal is practicing today. He is practicing at right tackle with the second string. He was not given a starting job or opportunity back, and he actually spoke about this with the media yesterday and said he's open to whatever role the Giants have for him. If it's a backup role, so be it. He's going to try his best to do that role to the best of his ability. So, Alex, what are your thoughts on that? Neal returning to the practice field. It's make or break year for him. It almost seems like it's already a break year for him, but he's returning to the field as a second string right tackle. How are you feeling about that?
Listen, I appreciate the fact that he was humble in his first press conference following what felt like a long time since we've heard him speak about us being sheeps. I'm happy that he understands. He's like, I just wanted to help the team, whether it's a backup, whether it's a starter, whether it's tackle, whether it's guard. That is his job, to play football. not to feel as though he's been given an opportunity because he's a high draft pick. This, he's lost that job straight up, outright. It's Jermaine Illuminor's right tackle job, in my opinion. If the Giants want to put Evan Neal there over Illuminor, they're trying to lose football games. That's my opinion. But, you look at Evan Neal, the humbleness, I appreciate that. It's a step in the right direction. He's got to earn his role back. He knows it. And that's where his headspace should be. How can I prove everybody wrong? How can I prove that I can still be a good NFL player? That is where his mental should be. That's where he should be physically, and how he can actually take steps forward towards accomplishing that goal and not acting as though he's owed anything. Because the Giants don't owe him a single thing. They owe, what the Giants owe? Us, the fans, to win football games. That's what they owe. Nobody else. They don't owe Evan Neal anything. They owe us wins. That's what they've promised. That's what they go out to do. That's their goal every single season. And if they fail to do that, they're letting us all down. So they owe us wins. They owe Evan Neal nothing, especially if he's not going to help us win games. So at this point in time, stay healthy, make progress, take it day by day, improve gradually. That's all we're hoping for. That's all we've ever hoped for. I don't care if it took him 3 years to become a solid player, but he's only gotten worse since being a rookie. And that's the problem here. He has taken absolutely zero, in fact, negative steps in the right direction. So that's been my most concerning thing. Like, if he's been taking small steps over time, I can stand behind that. I can work with that. It's the not taking any steps at all that's really deteriorated our confidence in him. So just compound good days, try to get into a better spot, and hopefully he can be an impact piece down the road.
Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, I think at least this season he'll be the Giants' swing tackle. Maybe at some point he gets in there if there's some sort of injuries. I would like to see the Giants try to cross-train him both at right tackle with the second string and inside one of those guard positions, but ultimately we'll see. Again, like you said, I appreciate the fact that he was humble in his first presser with the media since that injury, and, hoping for the best from Evan Neal. Obviously, my expectations and confidence are as low as ever, but, the hope is as high as always because he is a Giants player, and I want to see all Giants players succeed and over-succeed. So let's see with Evan Neal, and let's hope to see him make a pretty nice bounce back here for the Giants. But, yeah, a hectic day for the Giants at practice. A lot of injuries this week, some not so bad, some really bad, but of course we'll continue to update you on all of those and preview the upcoming preseason game against the Texans right here on Fireside Giants. So make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the channel if you're new, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please make sure you leave us a 5-star review and go ahead and follow us on all of our social media channels at Fireside Giants. Without further ado, we'll catch you all on the next one. Have a good one, and let's go Giants.